Hello there. My name is Mint, my pronouns are he, they, and welcome back to another video. If it's not welcome back and you're just stumbling upon my channel, welcome to my descent into madness. This is how I document it, and today we're making a dress for my friend Harley. If you don't know Harley, I'll put some links to her socials down below, as well as her regular @ here on the screen as well. She's a really good friend of mine. We stream together occasionally, we work together, it's great. Love her, adore her. And we decided to do a little trade where she gave me some skincare and makeup, which I will hopefully be going through in a later video, getting back to form with makeup and skincare and all of that stuff that I used to do. And I made her a dress. So let's get into it. She wanted a fun sort of like tea party, ruffle dress, poofy sleeves, corset top, multi-tiered skirt. So we did it. We did that for her. So let's take a look at it. So I started by sewing together some thin straps, basically. This is a new method to me. It's a pretty classic method. I've used it a bunch now since making this dress. It's really easy to do. You just put some fabric, right sides together with the folds to the left. You sew about a ½ inch away from that edge, between a ¼ inch to a ½ inch, depending on how thin you want the straps to be. You just need enough space to fit either a loop turner or a safety pin on the inside of that seam allowance. You clip off all of that extra. I would suggest using pinking shears because it's going to reduce the bulk of that seam allowance. But again, I just use regular shears for this, so if you don't have pinking shears, don't worry about it. And then take either your loop turner, which I'm sure is much easier, or your safety pin, pin it into that top edge, push it through, and then just slowly pull that through itself until you're able to just whoosh, pull it all the way through the end, and you have a beautiful, fully encased, well done strap. Make sure you press it nice and good so that it looks very pretty. These I ended up using for the loops. I did bridle loops at the back of the corset instead of grommets or buttonholes or anything else that I would normally do for the back of a corset. I've been really into using bridle loops lately. I enjoy it. And I made a few of these straps, and I used the longest one that I had for the actual tie of the corset itself. Let's get into the actual dress now. So I started actually with the part that I didn't film, and this was draping a bodice on a dress form, testing it on Harley, making some adjustments, making a prototype, fitting it on her, again, making some adjustments before moving to my fashion fabric. Once I moved to my fashion fabric, I had my, my basic shape. I knew I wanted a sweetheart neckline. I knew I wanted princess seams on there. So I went ahead and started interfacing my shell and also just pressing my fabric so that it was nice and like very even pieces so I could sew everything together. So I did all of my interface pieces for the shell of my bodice. And I also made a modesty panel for the back of the corset because this is designed to like not necessarily wear anything underneath it if you don't want to. Or also to hide like the strap of the bra so that you can't see through the corset layer. So I wanted to have a modesty panel back there. So I made that first. Again, interface one side, smushed it together, right sides together, sewed around the edges, flipped it over, pressed it. And then I started putting together the shell of the bodice. Again, this is all interfaced. So I went ahead and started putting that together. I brought the front side pieces sewn together at those princess seams to the front centerpiece. All right, ignore the fact that it's a different day and also that my hair is wet, but we have our bodice front part, and I went ahead and did all the same steps to just make a lining for the bodice. The only difference is the lining does not have any interfacing in it. So now we're gonna go ahead and connect those pieces so that we can line the bodice properly. So let's go ahead and do that. If you wanted to, you could put some boning in this top. I would recommend putting it in the lining itself so that you can't see it on the outside. But again, this dress would not hurt to have a little boning to give it a little extra structure in there. I'll be honest, I didn't have any boning. I ran out of boning. I don't have boning right now. It's very sad. Yeah, so I sewed on those princess seams. Again, I gave it a nice press, made it look nice and pretty. And made sure as I attached that back piece, those two back pieces with the modesty panel, I also went ahead and pinned in all of my bridle loops so that when I turned my shell back inside out again, or right side out again, then all of those loops will be in place. And I made sure to clip the extra of those loops after I sewed everything together so there's not a ton of bulk on the inside. Let me know if none of this makes sense. And then I got to working on the sleeves. So I gathered at the top of the sleeve and I had elastic at the bottom. If you're gonna make a similar dress, I would suggest having elastic on both ends. My only complaint about this dress is that the sleeves didn't stay up super well. And they also didn't flop down super well either. So I really wish that I had put elastic in there. Sorry, Harley, if you want me to put elastic in there now, let me know and I'll do it. Yeah, that's my only complaint about this dress, really. So I gathered that, put it together, sewed together my sleeves, and then it was time to attach the skirt layers. I unfortunately didn't film a lot of this. I just forgot. But I had 3 tiers of a skirt. My first and longest tier was a very large circle skirt. This was a full circle skirt, not a half circle, not a quarter circle, full circle skirt. And it was cut in the middle to have the same length of her waist measurement. And then I cut a little bit of a slit down the top of it so that it could open enough that she could step into it. But I did not cut all the way down. Basically the amount that you would cut to have a zipper closure, but because it's going to be attached to the modesty panel, it will fold over itself and you won't be able to see any gaps in that skirt. I did the same with all 3 layers of the skirt. It just was a slight opening at the waist, not all the way down. The second layer of the skirt, that middle layer, is shorter, another circle skirt. This one was a little bit bigger than her waist. I gathered it just a tiny bit. And my last layer was a full ruffle. So I just did a long rectangle. I gathered it, I believe, at 3 times the length of her waist. So it was a rectangle that was 3 times her waist circumference, which I then gathered and attached around. And then the last thing that I had to do, which you'll see me doing here, is doing a rolled hem on every single layer of this skirt. This is probably the worst part of the whole thing. It was so much skirt. My other recommendation is I would make sure to let your skirt hang for at least 24 hours or overnight before you hem it. It didn't turn out the most even thing in the entire world. Again, Harley, if you want me to fix that, let me know and I will. Yeah, but I didn't notice until after it was already on her. So if you notice that the skirt is a little bit uneven, I'm aware, I know, and I know how I would fix it now, but what's done is done. So anyway, I did a rolled hem on all of the layers of this skirt, all 3 tiers. And then I went ahead and attached the bodice to the skirts via the shell on the outside, so I did right sides together. And then I went ahead and hand stitched a basting stitch to get that lining folded in right exactly where I wanted it so that it wouldn't move at all. And then I stitched in the ditch to attach that lining properly, and then I was able to pull out that basting stitch because I didn't need it anymore now that it was properly stitched in. And then the last thing I had to do was just finish off those sleeves, hem them at the top, and attach them by just tacking them onto the sides of that bodice. And then lastly, I will show you Harley wearing her dress and some little spins, little opinions. Cute.
Very princess spin.
Very princess spin. Don't get dizzy.
And then I'll just hide my face.
You look so nice. You're so pretty. closer to the back so I can see the little details of the horsey. Nice.
Here we go.
Gorgeous. For a quick little dress made out of a bed sheet that I made for fun, for free, for a friend. Say that 3 times fast. For fun, for free, for a friend. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Again, there are some things that I would change, and there are some adjustments. Again, Harley, let me know if you want me to make these adjustments, because I happily will. Again, I would love for the skirt to be a little more even. I would love for the sleeves to have elastic in them. But I'm considering making a pattern for this and selling it on Etsy. Maybe. It's something I've been thinking about, so I would just keep a lookout. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in, and I just need to learn how to grade patterns so that I can have it in different sizes. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in that at all, and I will keep you guys in the loop. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.